Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much for your interest in band. I hope we get all of your questions answered before the night is through. Introductions first. Hi, my name is Mr. Probst. I'm the 7th grade band director. And in this meeting with me, I don't know if you can see her video, but is Miss Noblo. She's also here.
Everyone.
She's the 8th grade band director. And we're going to tell you a little bit about our band program. Just FYI, as we are moving along here, to save time and keep things rolling, questions are going to be typed into the chat box during the meeting. If you are unable to try instruments at school, though, please email us after the meeting to set up a time to try instruments. If you've want to set up a time for instruments, email that to us so that we don't lose it in the chat. But otherwise, other questions can be put in the chat box, and we will address those at the end. Our email addresses are down here on the screen. I have to apologize right off the bat because we sent an email out last week about this meeting, and at the bottom I put nicholas.probst@north-scott.org, and that is a mistake on my part. So it's actually just northscott.org. If you tried to send us an email in the last week and it wasn't getting through, that's likely the reason why. So if you did send us an email over the past week and you haven't gotten a response, try again at this email address, and it should work just fine then. All right. I'm going to turn it over to Miss Noblo, and she will tell you a little bit about what we did 2 weeks ago now and what instruments are in band.
So when we went to your students' elementary schools, they had a chance to try almost all of these instruments. So in the woodwind section, we had flute, oboe, bassoon, clarinet, alto, and tenor saxophone. For the brass instruments, they were able to try horn, trumpet, trombone, euphonium, and tuba. And then as far as percussion went, we talked a little bit about percussion, and if they were interested in playing percussion, we made it clear that they would learn all of the instruments on that percussion list. And if they were interested in percussion, they would talk to me, and we did a little bit of an exercise in keeping a beat and clapping rhythms, and also talked about any piano experience that students might have, because that is an advantage when learning percussion. So when we were talking about the instruments that we need in band, we talked about the band being kind of like a cake, and that you need all the right number of ingredients in a cake to make it taste good. If you have a cup of flour and a pinch of salt, or cup of sugar and a pinch of salt, the cake would taste good. If you have a cup of salt and a pinch of sugar, then the cake would not taste good. So a general rough guide. These are the numbers we're looking for in our band. This is not set in stone, so if we have 10 alto saxophones, that's not the end of the world. But just a couple things to keep in mind here when everyone's choosing their instrument. We need lots of clarinets, lots of trumpets, trombones, not as many oboes or tubas, but we would like to get students on the instrument that they want. So if we have 12 people that want to play euphonium, we'll make that work. And also, it's important to know that it's not too late to join band. If you don't have band on your schedule yet for next year, or don't think that you signed up for band next year, please contact our school secretary, Miss Woods, in the junior high main office. You can email her or give her a call. I think it's 285-3195 to get a hold of her.
If you are interested in learning more about some of the instruments or just the band program in general, this link, bit.ly/NSJH band, will take you to our beginning band website. It's linked in the chat, and Ashley will keep putting it in the chat as the night goes on, just so it stays sort of up there at the top. We also are putting our email addresses in the chat, so if you want to just copy that website address or either of our email addresses out of the chat, that's totally fine. So once your student decides what instrument they want to play, we get started in the summertime with our summer band classes. We will start with small group lessons at the end of the summer, just a few weeks before school starts. And don't worry, all of this will be in an email that's coming out to you tomorrow or Wednesday. So you don't need to memorize all this or write it down. Just be aware. We will start on August 8th at 6 p.m. at the junior high for our super lesson, which is where we have all of the students who are playing a specific instrument, say clarinet, come to the junior high and just get a good start on that instrument, learning how to put it together, how to make those first sounds from somebody who is a professional clarinet player in the area. Same thing for flute. They come in and everybody together has a lesson with that professional flute player just to get the basics learned. Then August 9th and 11th or August 10th and 12th, students will take summer lessons, either one-on-one or in a small group, depending on the number of students, with either myself or Miss Noblo. August 9th and 11th would be at the junior high. August 10th and 12th would be either at Glenn or Grissom. We normally do one school in the morning and one school in the afternoon. And that's just totally, they are the same lessons. It just depends on what school you are closest to and what school your student can get to during the day in the summertime. So August 9th and 11th would be small group or individual lessons at the junior high. August 10th and 12th, small group or individual lessons at Glenn or Grissom. And then August 16th, we're going to end with summer sectionals at the junior high, where we're going to have, again, all of the flute players then come back together, all of the bassoon players, all of the saxophone players, et cetera, come back for one big class, 9 o'clock for flutes and oboes, 10 o'clock for bassoon and clarinet, 11 o'clock saxophone and trumpet, 1 o'clock horn, trombone and euphonium, and 2 o'clock tuba and percussion. Again, don't worry, this will all be in an email, but just to put that on your radar for now. Once school starts, during the school year, 7th grade band meets either 3rd or 6th period, depending on where it gets scheduled in your student's schedule. So we'll have half the class during 3rd period, half the class during 6th period. And then students will get regular small group lessons during the school day with other students who play the same instrument, roughly once every 6 school days on a rotating cycle. So they won't come out of the same period all the time. They'll come out of 2nd period 1 week, the next lesson cycle, they'll come out of 3rd period, they'll come out of 4th period, et cetera, just rotating through the period so they don't miss the same class multiple times per quarter. And then we do have 4 performances that occur outside of the school day. Basically, it's one performance per quarter. So our, again, all in an email coming out later this week, but October 11th is our fall concert, December 13th is our winter concert, March 6th is a solo festival where each musician will work on and prepare a solo that they will play by themselves, not as part of the large ensemble, but as a solo. And then May 7th is our big all-district North Scott Band Showcase. Really exciting to see all the students from 7th grade all the way through 12th grade working together in one concert. And these performances are part of the student's grade.
So once your student brings their instrument home and they're so excited to start learning how to play the trumpet or the clarinet, these are just some things to keep in mind. Be prepared for unusual sounds at first. We like to call it pre-music. It's not going to be beautiful right off the bat, but as students practice and get used to what sounds they're supposed to be making, it will get better, we promise. We know that not every parent was in band in school, but you can still encourage and help your students practice. Setting up a room in the house that is dedicated to their practice, or a corner of a room in the house, or maybe in the basement somewhere, but have it set up with that music stand, with good lighting, somewhere that they can have good posture when they practice. And also just encourage them to play for you. Ask to hear what they've been working on, and see if you can recognize Hot Cross Buns or Mary Had a Little Lamb. And also just embrace the struggle. Not everything is going to come easily to all students at the same time. Don't let your students give up as soon as they hit a little roadblock. Please encourage them to keep trying, keep practicing, reaching out to their teachers for help, but embrace that struggle. There's a little picture over on the side there, kind of detailing the benefit of practice and the number of minutes that a student spends practicing their instrument every night or 5 days a week really adds up over time. And we do hear a difference in the classroom of those students who are putting in the time and the work.
Before we move on from this slide, I do want to just say, in my opinion, my personal opinion, one of the great things I think about learning a musical instrument is that it does take time to learn. I think these days, especially with technology and things like that, we live in a world of instant gratification. And band will most likely not be instant gratification, which is totally fine and a great skill for students to learn how to work hard, how to be persistent, how to be patient, and to go for those long-term goals. So that really is one of the big benefits I think your students are going to see out of being in band and learning to play an instrument. Okay, so speaking of that instrument, how do you get an instrument? So probably the best thing to do is rent or purchase your instrument through a reputable music store dealer. We have some excellent music stores locally here in the Quad Cities that we trust to sell excellent, reliable brands of instruments, and they will have a chance at the end of this presentation to tell you a little bit about their rental policies. But you can also, sometimes we see family instruments, maybe older brother or a sister played for a little while and it just didn't stick, so you've got their instrument around, or mom and dad played in school and you still have that instrument. Those are fine. If you're using grandma's, like it says on the screen here, if you're using grandma's old instrument in the attic, please make sure that you have it checked out and cleaned at a music store before our summer band program starts. Sometimes those instruments just sitting for a while, if it's a brass instrument with valves, those valves get stuck, or the pads on a clarinet or a flute or a saxophone start to wear out and to be replaced. One thing I would give you a heads up about here, that sometimes it can be kind of expensive depending on the shape of the instrument to fix up an instrument and get it in playing condition again. So if you're looking at that saxophone that's in the closet at home and you're thinking that that's going to be the economical option for your student, just be aware that there is a cost to some of those repairs, and that you might be surprised when that cost is getting darn close to the cost of actually renting a new instrument. So be aware of that. The third point on the screen here, be aware of the online superstore. You will get what you pay for. If you think that this instrument is too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. There are some brands of instruments, I won't name names, but some brands of instruments out there that are just not going to last through the school year, maybe even through the first month of playing. So be careful what you pay for. I will tell you that if you get a good quality instrument, it can last a long time. The trumpet that I currently play on at school, tuba is my main instrument, but the trumpet I have that I play on at school is the trumpet that my sister started with when she was in 5th grade many decades ago. The trombone that I play on, I bought used, but it was built in 1980. Still works great. If you spend the money to get a quality instrument, they will last a long time. And then the last point there, some of the larger instruments, we're talking about French horn, euphonium, tuba, bassoon, and oboes, can be rented from the school. So if you're interested in one of those instruments, we'll talk a little bit more about how to get that from the school. So here's our recommended instrument brands. I'm not going to read this all out to you at the moment, but you can just take a look at this screen here. And these are instrument brands that have stood the test of time, have a good reputation as being quality instruments that will last for your students. And again, don't worry, this will all be in an email that I'm sending home. So if you're furiously scribbling notes at home, you can put the pen down.
So in addition to the instrument itself, there are some pieces of equipment that we're going to require in band. The first one is a 3-ring binder. We'd like it to be black with a clear cover pocket so students can put their name and they're easily recognizable so people aren't losing their music. And Mr. Probst there has a link, just a 1-inch normal binder, 3-ring binder. And we also ask that you get 20 plastic page protectors. So when students receive their music, they can put it right into one of these sheet protectors and have it right on hand so they're not trying to dig through a folder full of music and not know where everything is. So in addition to that, our read players, Standard of Excellence book, that's okay. Our Standard of Excellence book is actually going to be provided for each student, so we will order those. You are not required to get that when you rent your instrument from the music store. We will provide those for you starting right at the super lesson. They should be on everybody's chairs. Music stand, in order to practice at home, so you're not sitting on your bed with your music on your bed playing cross-legged with bad posture, we ask that every student has a music stand. I think you can buy these for $10 at the music stores. I think a lot of the rental packages from our music dealers include a music stand as well, so students can practice at home with those.
And if you have an older brother, sister at home, you don't need to have 2 music stands. They can share a music stand, make them get along, make them share. That's okay.
For our reed players, our clarinets and saxophone players, we highly recommend and think everyone should get one of these mouthpiece cushions. This just kind of helps reduce some of the vibration on the teeth when playing those instruments. Also, we need reeds. Again, when you are renting an instrument from music store, I think they start out with at least a few reeds, if not a box of reeds. But there will be on the recommended equipment list the correct reeds. So we're going to start with Van Doren reeds. And then reed cases, we would like our students to be able to rotate through their reeds effectively to make sure that they don't play one until it's chipped and sounding bad, that they're rotating through them. So we're going to ask that they have these reed cases to keep them in good shape for a nice long time. And then for our brass players, we would like them to have a Yamaha synthetic valve oil. Looks like that. Again, we will make sure that these come with the rental package instruments as well. And Slido-Mix slide oil, this will be for our trombone players to make sure that those slides are moving freely. So these are some of the extra things. Not everyone needs all of these things. Some of it depends on brass or woodwinds. Percussionists won't need valve oil or reeds. Flute players won't need reeds. So that's just some of the extra stuff. And again, all of this will be in an email, so no worries there.
So we're going to go ahead and turn it over to our music stores, representatives from Griggs and West Music that are our local music stores. So why don't we have Griggs, since they're on the left side of the screen here. Billy, give us your information first, if you would, please.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you see me?
Cannot see you.
That's okay, I can go ahead without being seen. Just rest assured, everyone, I'm really good looking. Thank you to the band staff at North Scott for allowing me to come in here. And thank you to all the parents and guardians here who are joining the band experience. Just want to tell you a little bit about Griggs Music really quick. If you don't know us, we're located in Davenport on the corner of Brady and Kimberly, just about 10 minutes away from North Scott Junior High campus. So if you go with us, or even if you don't, we're a really convenient location to serve your schools. What you need to know if you decide that you'd like to get an instrument with Griggs is that we have very reasonably priced instruments and very reliable instruments. Everything that the school recommends, we provide. Hey, there I am.
Hey, there you are.
Thank you, Nick. Everything the school recommends, we provide to you. And the important thing, especially when you're dealing with 7th graders, is that all of our instruments are very reliable. They won't break down on you. And if they do break down for any reason, we repair everything that we rent free of charge. That's included as part of the rental program. If you decide that you want to go with us, you can visit our store here in Davenport. You can also rent online at our website, griggsmusic.com. Either way, we will gather everything for you and deliver it to the super lesson in August. You won't have to pay for the instrument over the summer if you're not using it. You can leave it with us and we won't charge you again until September. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to give me a call or an email at our Davenport store. But otherwise, I'll just pass it along to Mr. Probst and Mr. Noblo. Thank you for letting me pop in here.
Thank you, Billy. So then we also have Matt Hartman from West Music. So Matt, tell us a little bit about your store. Matt, I think you're muted still.
There we go.
There you go.
You unmuted me. Yeah, I lost powers there, everybody. All right, cool. So I'm Matt from West Music. If you could give me the power to share my screen real quick, Mr. Probst, that would be great. So West Music is all over Iowa. Our store is currently located at Moline, and which is about 20 minutes from your school. I see Mr. Probst and Mrs. Noblo on a very regular basis. We get to talk to them about all of the things band and what they need for their program, as well as help you guys out when you guys need some things. So in the chat right now, I just shared all of my personal contact information. My personal contact information does include my cell phone. Yes, I give that out to everyone. So be aware of that. I am not offended if you call me. I'm here for you guys at any waking moment. If I don't answer, I will respond to texts or by voicemails though. With that said, you can rent your instrument through West Music. The easiest way is to use our website, which is rent.westmusic.com. And I will link this in the screen. You'll just search for North Scott Junior High, click on it, go, and now you would just select the instrument that you need. They went over the trumpets needing synthetic valve oil. You would just go through here, select your wire music stand and the option of what color, then add on your Yamaha synthetic valve oil right there, and then continue to figure out which model of instrument you would like to rent at. We rent at 3 different levels: the Yamaha, Premium, and Certified Pre-Owned. This is an active inventory, so if we do not have one of these options, it will not be live. I'm going to stop sharing now. With that said, every instrument is $44.95 right off the get-go. So that includes your instrument starter pack, which includes the book, music stand, and care kit. For woodwinds, you do need to purchase a box of reeds. It will come with 1 or 2, but it will not come with a box. I just want to make sure that's clear. So while you're in there renting online, just select the box. I've already got the Van Doren 2s right there for you guys to do so. Very similar. You won't be charged over the summer months. We will charge you first billing month. Billing will be September 5th, but the $44.95 will come out the minute that you rent the instrument. With that said, I'm just going to pop rent.westmusic into the chat, and there's my spiel. Have a good night. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, thank you both. So what's going to happen next? We'll send an email later this week, tomorrow or Wednesday, again, with all the details from this meeting, plus a link to a Google form, which is where you will officially indicate your student's choice of instrument and location preference for their summer lessons. So we sent home a letter after we did our instrument testing that said what we thought they would be good at, but we want to make sure that every student actually plays the instrument that they want to play. The instrument that they want to play is the one they will be most successful at, because it's the one they will want to practice and the one they will want to spend time with. So if they have had a change of heart since we tried them out on their different instruments, we'll have you fill out that Google Forms so you can officially indicate your student's choice of instrument and then indicate the location preference for summer lessons. Now, that is not your official sign up to get band on your class rosters, so or on your class schedule. If you are not already signed up for band, if you did not put band on your schedule when you signed up for classes like way back in January, that's totally fine. It's not at all too late to join, but you need to make that official through the school. So the Google form that we're sending is just for me and Miss Noblo to know what instrumentation we have, to make it official to have band on your schedule. Please make sure you contact Miss Woods in the main office at the junior high, and she can get that taken care of for you. So you see our emails are on the screen there. Email us anytime you have any questions. That website there, bit.ly/NSJH band, has all kinds of other information about the individual instruments and things like that. So that is the end of our presentation. We will take some questions here. If you have a question and you want to put it in the chat, we can address questions.
I'll go ahead and answer a couple of those there. If my child takes band, does she need to sign up for choir? No, only one music class is required. So they can take band or choir or orchestra. They can take band and choir or orchestra and choir, but they do not have to take choir. That is no longer required. Are students guaranteed to get the instrument choice they listed? Yes, there is a chance that if we have 13 students who want to play bassoon, we might need to encourage some other directions for instrumentation just because of our available instruments at the school. But I would say most likely your student will get their first choice of instrument, yes. So the school instruments are $50 for the year. And if it was something like an oboe, you would be responsible for purchasing reeds throughout the year. So that would be the only ongoing cost, is buying the reeds to go with the instrument. But the school-owned instruments are all $50 for the year. We're happy to answer any other questions you may have. So a couple more questions here. Generally speaking, we don't have trombones, trumpets, flutes, clarinets to rent through the school. However, if you have an issue with either the cost or other circumstances, please email us or give us a call and we should be able to work something out. The dress code for their performances, we supply our students with a red music t-shirt that they can use for their performances. And then we ask that they wear black pants, black socks, black shoes for their performances. Mr. Probst, do you want to take any of those?
Sorry, I'm direct messaging somebody.
Oh, no, okay.
Sorry about that. Let's see, where are we here in the line of? So yeah, if your child signed up for choir, but now wants to do band, just need to contact Miss Woods in the junior high main office, and they can get your schedule switched from choir to band. That's no problem. Absolutely no problem at all. In order to play percussion, did you need to pass the test?
The test was more just to give the student a little bit of indication on how quickly they would have success with percussion. I didn't tell students if they passed or failed the test, but I think most students were pretty aware if they were struggling with some of the things we were doing, that maybe percussion wasn't the best fit. But again, if a student has their heart set on it, I'd rather them be in band and play percussion than not sign up for band because of that. I had a direct question, but it's a good one for the group. How do we know if they'll be able to rent through the school versus having to rent through Griggs or West Music? So the school-owned instruments, they are listed on that slide, and this will all be in an email as well, but oboe, bassoon, French horn, euphonium, and tuba, those can all be rented through the school. Anything that is not those instruments should be rented through one of the music stores. There are always extenuating circumstances. So please contact us individually if you have questions about that. Now, that's not to say that you can't rent one of those instruments through the music stores. If you'd rather have your own personal oboe or euphonium at home that you know you're gonna want to own for a long time, you can also do that through the music stores.
Although the music stores don't rent tubas. Correct, guys? Yeah, no tubas at the music stores. Do y'all rent bassoons? No bassoons.
Oh, no bassoons either. Okay. Good to know.
But definitely yes to oboes. Yes to euphoniums.
I can sell you a bassoon.
There's another good question. Will percussion equipment be allowed to come home? So when you rent your instrument through the school, when you rent your instrument through a music store, you do rent your percussion equipment through the music stores. That includes a practice bell kit, kind of like a xylophone, and a practice pad, which would dub as the drum or the snare drum there. So students have a set to practice at home. And then all of the equipment at school is what they would play at school. The xylophone, vibes, marimba, snare drum, bass drum, timpani, that all stays at school, but students would then have that rental from the music store that stays at home for practice.
Well, if there are no other questions at this time, again, if you do think of something later, feel free to email us. You can email us at any time. But all this information will be coming back out to you in an email either today or tomorrow. Don't forget, please, to fill out the Google form so we have an official record of what your student has officially selected as their instrument. And then you can also sign up for your choice of location for summer lessons. But seeing no other questions, I think then in that case, we will go ahead and end the meeting here and say thank you, everybody, for listening in, and we will look forward to seeing all of your students at the end of summer. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.